This is a solution video for the midterm 1 exam. The very first instruction, we want to apply the title style to cell A1. So I'll select on cell A1 and then go to title, which is right here. And then we want to insert a column to the left of column A. So several ways to do it. I'm just going to right click and hit insert. And we're going to use flash fill to put in the first and last initial plus their birthday. So first we'll make it 15 characters wide. Oh, I just made it narrower. So 15, now let's see, oh, I had it. At some point you just right click format column width to 15. Okay, so we want DB, I think it was a dash 1967. I can always look at the solution picture, yep. And just to be safe, I'm going to go SC-1960. Enter. And now I can grab both of those and drag down. And right here is the flash fill. And then you look to make sure it did it right, and it did. And then we just put race ID, I think, up here. In K4, we'll put the word average. And use the appropriate function, the average races 1 through 5. So I'll just type equal average is the easier way to do it. Parenthesis, and we just want races 1 through 5. I'm going to close that up, hit enter. Now I don't need to absolute anything, so I can drag that down. On A4 to K4, so we want to apply blue accent 1 style, I think it is. Yep. So come down here. I don't know if I say, is this blue accent 1? Yep, that style, and then some kind of thick outside border. So go to the border button and go thick outside border. And now we want to rotate this text here clockwise. Oops, I double click, so I have single click, and right here is your rotate. You can go straight into this box and then go 45 degrees and hit OK. Looking at the solution picture, it looks like I went the wrong way, so no big deal. We will go this way, grab that red dot, and come back around 45. That way, hit OK. Now we look like the solution picture. Now we want a sparkline chart right here in this column, so we'll just select all that. We'll go to insert, and here is our column sparklines. The data range is just the races, not the average, and hit OK. Now we want to, what do we want next? Color the high point red. So here's the high point. So turn that on. And oh, it already comes in red. Cool. If it didn't, you could change the marker color high point right here to be something else. And now we want to highlight the top 5 races with conditional formatting. So I'm just going to select that data there, and here's conditional formatting. Top rules, top 10 items. We want, instead of 10, 5, and instead of light red, we want the green. Hit OK. And now we want to set the page layout, the orientation to landscape. So I'll hit that, and then scale it so it fits on 1 wide and 1 high. So right here is the easiest way to do the scaling. Right there, perfect. The reason it shrinks so much is because I have that picture, the solution picture. The last thing is to add a footer. So one way is to just click on this view button down here, scroll down, and on the footer, what did we want? With your name on the left, and then the sheet name. So now we got to go to these buttons up here, and you put sheet name, which will put ampersand tab, and the center, and the date. So again, we're going to use these buttons and put the date. And that way it always stays relevant. If you should rename the sheet, the footer will always be correct. So then we'll go back to this, and the very last thing is, I got to get out of the footer before you can hit that, and we're going to change this to blue. And we'll change it to, so there's your tab color. Do they have a specific one? Blue accent 1. I can go with that and then right click rename and we'll put the word complete on it. And that's it for the first exercise. Exercise number 2, first question says we got to calculate the number of days between when they booked and when they departed. So all you have to do, as long as the answer is in days, we just take the first number and subtract the second number. And that's because those are dates, they'll automatically come in as numbers. Now I can double click to autofill. The base ticket price, well, it depends on the airport, will determine the base ticket price. So we just say equal VLOOKUP. I'm going to look up the arrival airport right there, comma, and the table array is right here. I'm going to lock that. I want column 3, right? 1, 2, 3, comma, and it has to be an exact match, so that's false. So that's it. We have our base ticket price, $3.25. The surcharge is based off, right here, the days before travel. So this one was 14 days before travel, will be a 25 surcharge. 9 days will be a 75 surcharge. 21 or 4 days will be in between here, that's a $100 surcharge. So again, that's simply a VLOOKUP where I'm going to look up the days before travel. This table, don't forget to lock it. Column is 2, and this time it's a true. It has to be a close match because you're going to have numbers in here that aren't exactly in this table. For instance, 4, right? So now we can hit that. There's your surcharge. Now the bag cost, right here, 20 bucks, but only if they want one. So we're going to say equal if this cell equals quote yes, then we want that cell. And don't forget to lock that. Otherwise, no surcharge. That's it. And then finally, the total cost is just going to be an equal sum of these numbers. And we'll close that up. And now that we have all the formulas done, it's simply a matter of grabbing them and double clicking all the way down. And then we want to format all of those in the accounting format. So you can either just hit this $sign, or I could run over here and hit accounting. And those dashes are zeros in the accounting format. A lot of times students will, in the if statement, they'll put a quote dash quote, and that's not what you need to do. It's just 0 in the accounting format. Now we want to put a function down here that's going to sum. I'll just hit auto sum all of those values, and then we want to do a goal seek to say if we want to earn $2.50 in bag fees, what would that number need to be? So under the data, what if we do a goal seek, and we want that cell right there to be $2.50, and we need to do it by changing that cell. So we'll hit OK. And now you end up with 2273 for that answer. And then we want to highlight the total costs that are greater than 500 using conditional formatting. So run home, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules greater than 500. Oop, that was 5,000. With the light red fill, dark text, you're done. And finally, we're going to add a footer again. So I'll scroll down with the student name. Oh, it's already here. I didn't know that. Page number in the center, so I'll grab that, and under the design, we'll now put a page number and a date on the right. So I'll grab that and put a current date. There we go. And now you can click out of the footer and then just hit the regular view and scroll to the top. Double check your solution picture, and you look good. On to Crazy Cars Auto Sales. Our first instruction is to calculate the sales tax by multiplying the base cost of the car times the sales tax, 7%. Right there. Don't forget to absolute that value. Enter. Total cost with tax. We're just going to simply add up the base cost of the car plus the tax. Enter. So we're getting the same numbers. Now it says, what is the payment? Right there. So we're going to go equal PMT, and their annual interest rate is right there. But of course I need to divide that by 12. The number of periods is 48. That's already in months, so I don't need to multiply by 12. The present value of the loan is the total cost with tax. And that's all we need for the payment function. And then the salesperson commission rate. So right here is the lookup table. It's based off the base cost of the car. And then the commission rate is simply whether it is a full-time or a part-time person. So it's a simple VLOOKUP where we're going to take the total cost with the car. I better look at my instructions, make sure I don't want base cost. Moving on to instruction 5, right here in cell C17, I want to count how many values are right here. So it has to be equal count. Now, a few people will grab this one, but if you read the tooltip, it counts the number of cells that contain numbers. This is all text. So count would return 0, but if you do count A, it counts the number of cells that are not empty. So there you go. That would count numbers or text. So it's the count A function is the one that you want there. Enter. That gives you the 12. And now we're down here. We want to sum H5 to H16. So I'll just do the sum function of all that. Oop, I forgot my equal sign. Equal sum. Parenthesis of all this. And now it looks like I ruined this cell right here. So I can take that formula and just drag it back up to fix my mistake. Now we want to take an average of all that. H5 to H16. 16. And then we're going to take the min, parenthesis, and the max. Looks like I did something wrong on my min column there. What did I just do? Oops, I grabbed 2 columns instead of 1. There we go. Now, what's the value of today's date? So you just type equal today, open and close parens, and hit enter. That'll give you today's date. And then on the bonus, it's just an if statement. So all we're saying is equal if parenthesis this value is greater than 250, 1, 2, 3, then we're going to take that value times 0.15. Otherwise, the function will return 0. There is no bonus. So that's what that looks like. Hit enter. And there you get the bonus value because this is greater than 250. Then we want the currency format in a few different spots. Without reading it real, I'm going to guess that all of this could be currency. There you go. Oh yeah, if you do this might end up a little different, but that's okay. Okay, world oil production. Let's create some quick charts. We want to create a line chart from A6 to G37. It's going to be a line chart, so we'll go line. This one, cool. And then we want to format that chart with style 9. I think that's 6, 7, 8, 9, right there. Then change the chart title to Oil Production Historic Trends. So I'm just going to double click on the chart title. And what do we just call it? Oil Production Historic Trends. Enter, or I won't enter, I'll just click out. Now I need to find the North America data series. That's Africa. This would help if I made it bigger. I think I should have moved the chart first, but. So this is the North America data series. And now I can format that data series. If that box wasn't open for you, you could just hit Format Selection. And then we want to go to the paint bucket, and the color was to be white. There we go. Now we want to revise the vertical axis, so this shows in thousands instead of the millions. So we double click on that, it comes over to this line. So we'll go to our axis options here, display units in thousands. And now we want to take this value right here and say thousands of barrels per day. There we go. There's the thousands of barrels per day. I think we're looking similar, other than it's supposed to be on its own sheet. So you'll click on it and go to format design, move chart to its own sheet. Do I have a sheet name? Oil production. And hit OK. And now we're going to create a pie chart using the same data. I want to grab my labels, hold down the control key, and just grab the values of 2010. So then we go insert pie, 2D pie, and there we are, style 7. So, 7, that's it right there. Change the chart title to 2010 oil production. So now 2010 oil production. Reduce its font to size 14 so I can select all that. Whoops. I could have hit that button, but I missed it, so I'll just come here and go down. Too many. To 14. Move the chart legend to the left edge, so I'll select that. We'll go here to legend, and then we'll hit this arrow and then say the left edge of the chart area. And now we want to add data labels outside of the pie slices. So here's our data labels, and we can hit this and say outside end, and we want them to be a percentage. So here we have to go to the more options, and it's going to be here, label options. We don't want the value, we want the percentage. So I'll click percentage and get rid of the value. How are we looking? A lot better. My color scheme is different for this style, but that's okay. North America, one more time, we want to be white, so I have to select it twice. The first selects the whole pie, and then I'll do it again, and I just have North America. And so again, going back to the paint bucket, we want that to be white. Whoops. Oh, I'm on the border, not the fill. So we just made the border white. Let's go to fill. Do that again. There we go. And so that, other than that style difference, that looks to be correct.